What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be going through my top 10 AFL players of this decade from 2010 to 2019 as this decade comes to a close. It's been a really quick one. We've had a lot of great AFL players come through the system who have continued on their great form from the early 2000s, or they've started a career very nicely throughout this decade and produced some great football for us fans to be watching. So I'm going to go through my top 10. Now please be advised that this is all my opinion. It's all based on what I see, and if you guys have a different opinion, please let me know your AFL top 10 players of this decade in the comments below. So let's get straight into it and see my top 10 of AFL players during this decade. Number 10. Now, a lot of people that are watching will probably know, oh, Anthony, you're a Port fan, and you're going to be biased about this one. Well, you know what? I'm not biased. It's just what the type of football this bloke's produced. So, number 10, Robbie Gray is a phenomenal player. We all know it. People that don't support Port know it. People that do support Port know he is an absolute star and one of the best to play for our football club. But what he's produced in 7 years of, well, in fact, 2011, obviously, with Port Adelaide's poor performance. 2012, Robbie Gray did his knee. And 2010, he started to produce football that we knew he was able to. And after he did his knee, he came back a reinvigorated man. He was a great footballer after that. Went into the midfield. He was a 4-time All-Australian. He won 3 best and fairest, and he's kicked over 260 goals during this decade itself. So the man's a freak. He's able to win games off his own boot. He's dangerous down forward, dangerous in the middle, and you can see why he's number 10. Number 9, now this might be a little bit controversial for some people. Love him or loathe him, Alex Rance has been the best fullback in this decade. He's able to stop any forward possible, keep them goalless, impact the game on his own terms as well, while influencing his opponent's impact on the game. So what he's been able to produce for Richmond, even when they weren't playing as great as football as they have been the past few years, he's definitely stood up and become a great leader for that football club. He won the 2017 Premiership. He's the best fullback in the league that year, and even though he didn't play this year due to his injury, he's been phenomenal. He has 5 times All-Australian, and he was the 2017 captain of that team as well in the Premiership year, and Alex Rance is a superstar. Number 8 is one of the most iconic midfielders for the Collingwood Football Club. He'll be forever known for his ability to win the footy. And for me personally, watching Scott Pendlebury play football is like watching someone that's got half a second to a second longer than anyone else. He just takes his time, pure footballer, uses the ball so well, and the basketball background certainly has helped that. And with Scotty, he won the 2010 Premiership. You know, he's been the captain of Collingwood since 2014. He's Norm Smith medalist. He's had 6 All-Australians in that time, 5 BNFs, and 3 Anzac medals. He stacks up on the stat sheet as well as on the ground. He's won numerous games that won't be even recognised in the stats. So Scott Pendlebury, an absolute star and a freak of a player. Coming in at number 7 now, I don't particularly like this next player. As a player, never met him as a person, but Joel Selwood comes in at number 7. A lot of people call him Duckwood. Has the most free kicks of this decade by 200 free kicks more than the next person, which is quite phenomenal. Some people may argue he goes head first. Some people may argue he goes shoulder up. But we won't argue that point because purely as a footballer, he's been nothing short of sensational for Geelong. He's been the captain since 2012. He's a 2011 Premiership player. He's won 3 BNFs. He's had 6 All-Australians in this time. And the way he plays football, love him or loathe him, he's just become a champion. And it wouldn't be a game without him cutting himself. So credit to Joel Selwood. He's been a superstar of this decade. Coming in at number 6 is his teammate, Patrick Dangerfield. Now, on the stat sheet, Paddy has been nothing short of exceptional. He's a 2016 Brownlow medalist, 7-time All-Australian in this time. He's a 3-time BNF at Geelong. He obviously was at the Crows prior to 2016, and the Crows didn't do much in that time. They made a prelim in 2012, and obviously Paddy has been nothing sort of sensational, was fantastic at the Crows, but at Geelong, he's taken his game to another level, and obviously playing for a Victorian team, he's going to get recognised a lot more, and he's won games off his own boot. He is the star, mate, for 30 disposals and 3 goals per game. And Paddy, while he hasn't won that beautiful premiership that so many players have gone after, he's certainly done more than enough for that football club in the short time that he's been there. Number 5. Now, some people will argue, has he done enough in the whole decade span? Now, not every player is going to have a great impact during the 10 years. But what this bloke's done in the last 5 will make up for anything that no one else has did during the time before he's come onto the scene. Dustin Martin. Probably one of the players, one of the keys. When he stayed and signed on for Richmond, he was one of those blokes that just said, you know what, I'm taking this football club and I'm taking it to the next level. And he did that. He did that as a for himself, and obviously he did that for the football club. And look at Richmond now. They're one of the powerhouses of the competition. But on the stat sheet, Dusty Martin has been brilliant. 2-time Norm Smith medalist. He's a 1-time Brownlow winner, which was in 2017. He's a 2-time premiership winner. Countless All-Australians. The man is just nothing sort of sensational. And look, you can't argue with that one. Because, yeah, what Dusty's done is brilliant. And I know a lot of Richmond fans will agree. And the ladies will agree as well, because they seem to like him. Number 4. Now, Fremantle fans, you'll like this one. Nat Fyfe. Now, I debated with myself for countless minutes. Oh, where is Nat Fyfe on this list? I knew he was a top 10 player of this decade. What he's done in the time since debuting has been brilliant. But I haven't been able to get a grip on whereabouts in this top 10. And it dawned on me that he won a 2nd Brownlow this year. And that raised his stakes a lot more than what he would have been. He would have been in the top 10 if he didn't win it regardless. But to come in at number 4, 2-time Brownlow medal winner, 2015 and 2019. And 2019 in a side that didn't even play finals. He's a 3-time All-Australian in 14, 15 and 19. 3-time BNF winner at Fremantle. He's had injuries. He's had countless tags. He's been one of the best footballers to watch. He breaks the game open, and Fremantle fans are so lucky to have them at his football club because he's just one of those players. And he's a leader. And I have so much respect for leaders because they are capable of putting not only themselves on the line for their team, but they also drag the team with them. And Nat Fyfe is a perfect example of that. So he's been one of the best footballers of this decade. Coming in at number 3, I debated with the top 3, I won't lie. They have chopped and changed so much before recording this. Luke Hodge. Now, a lot of people are like, excuse me? Luke Hodge. Are you right about that, mate? What's going on? Now, he hasn't been the star of the show that so many of these other players have been. They haven't been, he hasn't been one of those players that kicks goals, wins games off his own boot, but he wins games of football with his pure heart and his aggression at the footy and his willingness to compete. And it shows on his stat sheet. He's a 3-time premiership player with the Hawks. 13, 14, 15, that trio. That trio of premierships when they were unbeatable. You had him go to the Brisbane Lions. He led them from being a basket case to playing in finals in the matter of 12 months. He was a Norm Smith medalist. He's an All-Australian. He's a captain. He's a leader. And he made Hawthorn what they are, which is a fierce competitor no matter what. And he is a cultural player, which so many other teams need. And that's why Luke Hodge is so high up, because he's just been a star. Coming in at number 2 is arguably one of the best players we've ever seen, one of the best forwards we've ever seen, is Buddy Franklin. Now, a lot of people will be like, what? Buddy? Really? Now, hear me out. He's a 2013 Premiership player with the Hawks. He's had countless All-Australians. He was a 2018 captain of the All-Australian team. Obviously, 2019, injury-prone, been injury-riddled with not being able to get on the park. But 7-time All-Australian for both Hawthorn and Sydney. He's kicked over 640 goals in this decade. 640! More than any other player. 3-time Colin medalist in 11, 14 and 17. Buddy Franklin is the kind of player that a defender looks at and goes, no, thank you. See ya. I'm not dealing with this. He's a match winner. He's more than capable of ripping a new one on any defender on any team. So that's why he's number 2, because he is just a brilliant player. Number 1, I think you can guess who number 1's going to be. It's the GOAT. It's Gary Ablett Jr. Now, while he hasn't been as great the last couple of years as when he's gone back to Geelong, he has been injury-riddled. What he was able to do with Geelong, what he was able to do with Gold Coast and make them relevant at the time that he was there, he's a star. 4-time BNF winner at the Gold Coast Suns. He's 5-time All-Australian. He was a captain of the All-Australian team in 2011 in Gold Coast's inaugural year. He's the Gold Coast leading goal kicker. You know, he's the Brownlow medalist. He's a star. He is more than capable of doing anything, and still at the age that he is now, playing for Geelong and winning games and kicking goals. He's the best player I've seen. There's my statement. He's the best player I've watched in my eyes. So, can't argue with that. Well, that's it. That's my top 10 AFL players of this decade from 2010 to 2019. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of my list and what's your list? What's your top 10? So let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more AFL, and if you're a Port fan, Port Adelaide content as well, coming your way over the off-season, ready for a big 2020 season. My name is Anthony, and as always, can the pair.